Is anybody actually having fun with Battlefield? Yes, I am. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a war zone of my own right now. I'm browsing the Battlefield Reddit, and it's not exactly the most happiest location I've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield 2042 is not out yet. Basically, if you're an idiot like me and you pay 20 bucks extra to get access to the higher tier editions, you're able to play some good old Battlefield. Now, as you all know, I've been waiting for Battlefield for a while, okay? I try not to hype myself, okay? But guess what? It's a Battlefield game. It's got some promise. And ladies and gentlemen, I need one W in life, okay, when it comes to some gaming. Now, I feel like it's kind of a sin to say that I enjoyed a AAA game, but I'm enjoying myself, ladies and gentlemen. I've been looking on the internet, and it seems like everyone's pretty polarized. Either you love this game, or it's one of the worst things ever made. And for me, I actually had a positive experience. Now, to start off Battlefield 2042, when I first downloaded it a week before release, when the servers aren't flooded yet, I was having connection issues. Oh boy!
We have persistent problems connecting you to EA servers. The other 40 people...
Yeah, I bet you did, EA. I bet you did. But ladies and gentlemen, 4 or 5 hours later, after I slept on it, woke up, the servers started working again, and I was able to play a game. Now, this might actually be one of the smoothest pre-launches for a Battlefield game I've ever had. You know, Battlefield 4, when it first launched, took me days to connect to a server. I couldn't even connect to a server without using their dogshit mobile app. Yeah, you remember those days when back in the day gaming had mobile app companions? Yeah, that's how I used to play Battlefield 4. That's how I used to connect to a game. Find it on the mobile app, click join, it just syncs me into the actual game. It was kind of cool and futuristic, but totally unneeded, and you shouldn't have had to do it. But Battlefield 2042 lets me connect. God bless. A basic feature in 2021. Now, as far as the game goes, I just want to scrub through the negatives as fast as I can. So, ladies and gentlemen, the game has some pretty shitty hit registration. I don't know if the guns are designed to go straight and narrow. Usually when you point at a target and you fire, the bullet should reach the intended target. In Battlefield, the bullets tend to have a curvature like this. You know, I don't know if it's the goddamn Coriolis effect, or maybe the Earth is a bit more rounder in the Battlefield universe than I expected. God knows what's going on with gravity in this universe. But the other big reality of the game is there's just not a whole lot of content for you to dump 60 bucks into. You see, in Battlefield 3 and 4, there's a bevy of unlocks to go after. In Battlefield 2042, there's a couple guns. You can unlock those guns. You might have to suck some EA corporate cock to get those guns. There's cosmetics to unlock, don't get me wrong. And there's a few maps in the game. A few maps. They're very big maps, and considering the game has 128 players in one server at any given moment, including bots as well, yeah, they're too big for that. Ladies and gentlemen, the game has a few maps. I haven't played all of them because the matchmaking only puts me in like 3 of them to begin with. But from the maps that I have played, they're large. They're just not as impressive as something like Metro or, you know, Damavon Peak or, you know, something like Caspian Border or maybe the all-impressive Dawnbreaker from Battlefield 4. They're good maps. They're whatever, okay? I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're just large maps. It takes forever to traverse across them if you're not going by vehicles. But that is what it is. It's a big Battlefield game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the thing that gets me impressed about it the most, past all those negatives, is the Battlefield game has an actual... It actually feels like a goddamn Battlefield! What do I mean by that? Well, when you play other shooters, you typically get locked into like 16v16 encounters, and it's just usually in an arena section. With Battlefield, oh boy, as soon as you start the game off, it literally looks like a clusterfuck is happening in front of you. And those moments in Battlefield where you're like taking down helicopters and seeing them spin out of control as they're flying down into like 10 of their comrades, basically getting you nets of kills, that's all alive and well. And Battlefield 2042, if anything, excels the most at that kind of stuff. And that's where I've sort of been enjoying my time the most, just getting into a Battlefield and enjoying it. Whether I win or lose, the moments within the matches are exactly what I live for. Now, granted, those moments within the matches typically happen centered around one portion of the map, because remember, these maps are way too big, alright? Ladies and gentlemen, you play a Conquest on these games, there's half the map where like maybe 1 or 2 players are sort of experimenting and playing like hopscotch, and like basically at one central point, all the time time, no matter what. There's literally the concentration of everyone's collective fuckery going around there. That's pretty much how this entire experience is gonna go. Vehicle-wise, you don't get a whole lot of options. You get a jet, you get some helicopters, but most importantly, you got a cute Boston Dynamics robot, and best part of all, you have what is the greatest hovercraft in gaming history. This thing, seriously, is overpowered. If you're not playing it and getting the most use out of it before EA and DICE nerf the living crap out of it, you're not playing the game right in any capacity. Now, class-wise, the game has specialists. Oh boy! Now, you ever played Rainbow Six with, like, operators? Yeah, it's not that impressive of a system. Basically, they've got a bunch of operators that you can pick from. They have some special abilities. Some can heal, some can give you armor, some can hack drones, and some do nothing at all. And that's pretty much how it goes. Hey, there's even a wingsuit in the game if you like to fly around and do some wild shenanigans. But generally, every character sort of amalgamates into one. One thing that I don't like about this game, and I don't like about this in previous Battlefield games, like the last two, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, is it feels like a lot of the class system is sort of amalgamating. Basically, in this game, you really don't need to worry about anti-air, given the fact that every class can bring an anti-air rocket at any moment with them. So guess what? Everyone's an anti-air operator. Good job, everyone. Congrats. Now, you can sort of mix and combine classes, which is nice if you're a fusion type of player. But for somebody like me, it really does take away from that inherent, like, hey, you picked a support, you play a support. I'm a support character. Everyone calls me a cuckold in the game, but without a good support, y'all are losing your games. I'm just saying. Now, I know that I'm sort of going all over the place, but I really had to get my feelings out about this massive war zone that was taking place. I think the game is okay. I think it's launching better than I expected. People compare this to, like, Battlefield 4, like, that game is so much better. Guys, if you played Battlefield 4 on release day, you knew that it took over 12 months for it to become even slightly playable. We're talking the game had shit netcode, connectivity issues, everything across the board. And until DICE sat in and decided, whoa, let's fix the game, it had a No Man's Sky turnaround, and now Battlefield 4 is one of the best Battlefield games ever. So it's going to take like a bit of time before this gets there. Battlefield games, unfortunately, do not have good launches, and I don't want to excuse that at all. That's why I'm telling you, do not get this for $60 right now. Wait until like maybe 6-7 months down the road when they pump in more content and more guns, because at that point, it's probably going to be a worthwhile purchase. I only made the buy because I'm a big Battlefield fan. I would never recommend this to somebody who just joins the franchise. Now, moving on, there's a couple more game modes. Actually, to start off, the game mode stuff depresses me a little bit. When you immediately fire up the game and go to all-out warfare, which is sort of the big draw into the game, there's literally Conquest, which is a standard Battlefield affair, and Breakthrough. There's really nothing beyond that. There's no, like, extra modes that, you know, they were trying to pepper in. It's literally one or the other. Now, of course, beyond that, there's also Hazard Zone, which if you ever played something like Escape from Tarkov, this is actually a far more accessible version of that. Basically, you drop in with teams of 4 into the giant in-game maps, you go to various points, you extract data drives, and you get out. And you have to engage between you, the enemy teams, and I guess AI here and there. I haven't played too much of this mode. Honestly, it's not that impressive to me, and I wasn't lining up to play Hazard Zone. I thought they were just going to give us a shitty battle royale, but I would prefer a off-brand Escape from Tarkov, since I'm getting a little tired of playing fucking battle royales in this day and age. Then they also have Portal. And no, it's not that cute game from Valve. Portal is one of my favorite features of this game. Basically, they've remade certain aspects of older games. Like, for instance, right now, you can play a Fiesta mode where they just keep giving you random new guns every time you spawn. Kind of cool. They've got Battlefield 2, Bad Company 2. Yes, Bad Company 2 is back with 2 maps and Rush. And y'all know me, I love me Rush on Bad Company 2. That's like a childhood staple, a teenage staple. Then they've got Battlefield 3 Conquest, 2 maps, good maps, Nashur Canals, and Caspian Border. So if you want to relive some of the best highlights of Battlefield, it's all there in Portal. But if you also want to do some bot farming, it's all there too, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, when you give the community creative power, they're always going to find ways to boost themselves up the metric, and I'm sure that's going to get nerfed, so jump into that while you can right now. As far as the rest of the game goes, it genuinely does have have a buggy scenario to it. But like I said earlier in the video, none of these games launch without a fair share of buggy nonsense. I think in a matter of months, they're probably going to fix this and hold it out. And I really hope they do. It's hard for me to recommend a game like this, even though that I enjoy the ever-loving hell out of it. Because as a Battlefield fan, I feel like when this game works, it's probably going to be the best Battlefield game ever. But hopefully they fix it up in due time, because this is the problem with AAA gaming these days. When you buy something for $60, it's never really a complete product, especially when it comes to these live service multiplayer games. It's like, here's the early access build, guys. Don't worry, we'll release more content as the months pass. And of course, these games need to have a community that's in there. They're playing the game over and over again. They're constantly unlocking things, a healthy player base, because without that, you're never going to make it to the stages of releasing multiple seasons accurately over and over and over again. So I really, really hope that Battlefield gets their shit together, because if this ends up being a bomb for them financially, player-wise, this is like the last Battlefield game in a while, okay? Because at the end of the day, Battlefield does not have too many chances. Battlefield is on the same tightrope that Halo is on. If Halo and Battlefield fuck up their releases, like Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite, I don't see them coming back for years on end, because they either got to make a mark now or just drop into obscurity. And that's one of the things that I hope Battlefield 2042 doesn't get into. I'm enjoying the time with this game right now, and that's where, like, I'm on the other side of the fence. There's a lot of people that dislike this game, but I'm not jaded to that point yet. And I guess the more hours I put into it, the more I'll really be able to flesh out an opinion. But from the hours that I played already, I can absolutely say that I've been having fun with Battlefield 2042. And if they play their cards right, I think it could be one of the best Battlefield games in a long time. So that's all I can really say, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.